Self Love Sunday. I am Tarnisha Mosas, your host of Self Love Sundays with Sass. I am your vision strategist coach who comes every single Sunday so we can talk about all the ways in which we can better our best. And today I want to start off with a question like, have you ever felt like you're being called to lead, but you're holding yourself back because you don't feel ready or qualified? And I'm going to tell you a truth that changed my life. And it's something that we've heard before. And I'm here to tell you that it's not cliche. And that's God doesn't call the qualified, He qualifies the called. And today I'm going to be sharing with you how I made the shift to start to lead my life like a CEO. And even when I doubted myself, even though there's some days that I still doubt myself, and how you can step into your own leadership with faith and confidence. And if stick around to the end, because I'm going to give you two books that actually really helped me along the journey, as well as some others I'll give you as well, because the truth of the matter is, and listen, if you come to my channel, you're going to know I'm going to keep it real, and I'm going to be vulnerable, because I believe that every level that you go to, every time you're being called to shift into a new version of you, there is going to be some doubt. There is going to be some doubt there, especially when you didn't ask for this. And I'm going to tell you what I mean. So I'm going to take you back to a moment when I had to make my own leadership shift. So for years, I worked in corporate America. And if you've been here for a while, you know I've been in corporate for 27 years. Um, Always doing what was expected of me, but I didn't really see myself as a leader, right? I knew that I was a great employee. I knew that I was always going to get the work done. I had that work ethic, but I didn't see myself as a leader. I definitely never saw myself as being a CEO of anything. But it wasn't until I started to pursue my dream of empowering women and building a business, I realized that to lead others, I had to first lead myself. I had to stop waiting for someone else to validate me, and I had to start operating like a leader I was called to be. And I didn't feel qualified, but God reminded me he equipped those he called. Let me tell you how he did it. I went to a leadership program, and it was an emotional intelligence program. I'm sorry, and it was by this company called Next Level. It is an outstanding program. It's like a 3-step journey for emotional intelligence. And every step of the way, but I'm gonna just tell you this: I went feeling like I wanted change. I wanted the Lord to make me over. Okay. And so I went with this openness of, God, whatever it is that you want me to do, and whatever it is this program has for me, I'm going to do it. Whether I liked it or not, I'm going to go with it. So I went very, very open. And every single step of the way, do you know, every time I was called to lead. And I'm like, why me? Like, I came here because I felt like my life was just in shambles. It was a hot mess. And I'm like, why me? But no matter that I was thinking that, and no matter, and it's all, and I'm talking about there's 100 people. I have to pull together this thing of 100 people, okay? And I had never done that before. And I was like, Lord, I don't know how I'm going to do this. But it ended up being such a massive success. And I'm not saying this because I felt that way, because I'm going to be very honest with y'all. I'm like, Lord, I don't think I got this right. I don't know what I'm doing. The amount of people who told me afterwards that I helped change their lives, and I helped them emotionally, I helped them mentally, spiritually, I couldn't believe it. I was like, what? Me? And here's the trick. I'm gonna tell you the truth. Even though now, by at this point, I had already been promoted in corporate America, I still didn't think I was a leader. Okay. Now I'm in this program. They're promoting me to lead. I still didn't think I was a leader. I just was wrestling with it. I was wrestling with it because of my past and how I felt about myself. And then let's fast forward. I started getting into programs because I became a certified coach. I became a speaker, and then I got into. I joined this community, and the community was for Eric Thomas, E.T. the hip hop preacher, right? And I joined. I will never forget it. I'm like, I want to be around a community of like-minded people, because again, I'm like, Lord, make me over. Okay, I joined this community, and I come in just like everybody else, and it's an accountability community. So I come in, and And I come in again with that mindset of I want to be, I want to grow, I want this to work. And this is at the time when God was pushing me to write my book, right? So when I'm talking to you about I had to first lead myself, that means I had to first lead myself into stepping into leadership. I had to lead myself in stepping into learning how to love myself and learning how to put me first without putting others down, learning how to put me first, not in a selfish way, but in a very selfless way. I had to learn how to put me first and understand that loving myself meant looking in the mirror at all parts of myself and really taking me on, from the rooter to the tutor, as I would say, from head to toe. That's what that meant. And so I'm in this community, and I'm just coming to be like everybody else. I'm just coming to do, but I showed up, and I guess in such a way that it wasn't even 4 months later that there was a group that was already leading his accountability call. They called me and five other people after one of the sessions and asked would we now step up to lead his accountability calls. And so that's how my journey began, with learning how to be alert. Like my tutelage was a seven-figure CEO. That's how that started. And it was all because I joined the community looking to grow me, and they saw something in me that I still yet couldn't see in myself. And this was what, 3 years ago now, almost 4 years ago now. And I actually, stayed and stayed running ET's community for 3 years. It was, yeah, 3 years, and I was with him with it was Breathe University, and moved over to when he changed it to Eric Thomas University. I was there for a while, and just recently I finally let go. You know why I finally let go? I finally got it. I finally got, like, he's calling me, and I have a choice to make. And so maybe you're in a similar place. Maybe you feel you're being called to lead, or you're being put in places, and you're being called to step up, whether it's your family, your career, your community, or even your dream, but you're doubting if you're capable. Trust me, I've been there. But today we're going to shift the mindset together. Okay. So I'm going to tell you the framework that actually that helped me along the way. And number one, step one is recognizing that leadership is a calling, not a position. So it's not about titles or authority or being over people. No, it's about influence and obedience to God. Listen, it's about being obedient to the call God has placed on your life. And I know we talk about Moses all the time, but think about it. He didn't feel qualified at all. And they were ungrateful. I said it. But God didn't ask for perfection. And He didn't say that the people weren't going to be ungrateful. And He didn't say that people weren't going to feel entitled. He didn't say they were all going to love you. But He called you to His people. And He's calling you to His people. And if you're watching this video, I know it's you, because I know He only places me in front of those who get to or need to hear this. He's asking for obedience. Leadership starts when you say, Yes, Lord. I will never forget the day being in the shower. And it's a song by, I think it's Sakina Glory. And it was that breakdown cry in the shower that I said, I finally said yes to His calling. And I'm not telling you that it's easy. I'm telling you that it's worth it. I did a video last week talking about when your faith is tested. I'm not telling you it's going to be easy. I'm telling you it's going to be worth it. And so here's a quick tip that you can do. Spend time in prayer this week and ask God. I always say ask Him. I ask Him in the morning. Sometimes I feel like I hear Him, and sometimes I don't. I told you I'm not going to come here and pretend today. And so what happens in the time when I'm unsure, I'll wait a little bit more, or sometimes I realize I need to get into action. Okay, but we'll talk about that a little bit. So ask God, what area of my life are you calling me to lead right now? I'm going to tell you, and write down what you hear in your heart and take one small step of obedience. I'm going to tell you why I said right now. Because when I first started, I thought my initial purpose was going to be teaching fitness. I started off teaching fitness, and I'm telling you, like, the way that I was able to help people in the fitness arena, like, it was like, oh my God, I'm supposed to be here. And then that was like in 2010. And then about 2018, God like completely shifted me out of that. And I was like moved into this speaking and coaching area. And let me tell you what's interesting about that. I started shifting in 2018. I got my certification to be a coach in 2014 and didn't use it. That's why I said you have to ask for the season, because sometimes we get stuck in a season where we're supposed to be moving beyond that. He's shifting us, he's moving us out of a space and a place. And it's not a quit, it's a pivot. You see what is a difference there, right? And so the second step is I had to shift my mindset. So when I started building this business, I had to stop thinking like an employee, which is really hard to do when you've been an employee all your life. And especially if you grew up like me, where your parents want you to go get the good job and get the good benefits, which I did. Okay. And it's different. You have to start thinking like a CEO. It's in a CEO who is led by God. I had to realize doesn't wait for permission to lead. Because as an employee, I was always waiting for permission. I had to understand that a CEO, they step boldly into their calling, knowing God is their God, not waiting for humans sometimes to tell them what to do. And you don't have to have all the answers. I had to learn that too. You don't know what you don't know, and you have to trust. Listen, you have to trust the one who does. And I get it. I get it, because if you grew up and you didn't trust your mother, and you grew up and you didn't trust your father, especially if they weren't there in your life, it's so hard to trust. And I'm going to tell you today that it starts by trusting yourself. You have to trust yourself as you're going through this journey, and then you have to trust God. And I'm not here to tell you who your God is. I forgot to give my disclaimer, so let me give it to you right now. I am not here to tell you who your God is and the God that you are supposed to serve. I'm here to tell you that a firm foundation in God is the only thing that's going to help you get to where it is that you want to go in this life. Because I don't know about you, but one thing for certain and two things for sure: this world is full of ups, downs, and in and out. And that firm foundation is the thing that keeps me steady when all the hurricanes in the war of life is happening. Okay, okay. so so when I think about how a godly CEO thinks, right? They lead with purpose. They align their vision with God's plan. And how do you get there? That's when you're in your. When I get my vision, that was when in a meditation. And meditation is prayer, but meditation is also silence. And I had to learn how to be silent and sit still. I told you last week that it's hard for me now that I'm in the perimenopause phase of life to really do that, but still in the morning before I get out of the bed, it's still the thing that I do. Number two, they take responsibility. Listen, a CEO does not blame circumstances, they make adjustments. Hear me again. They don't blame, they're not around here pointing fingers. They're not, listen, I am the CEO of my life. I hire and fire and adjust accordingly. Many may come, but nobody gets to stay unless I will allow them to. Hear that and hear that well. Many come, no one gets to stay unless I say. No one gets to stay in your life unless you say. Don't tell me you don't have another choice. There's always another choice. And we take responsibilities for our life. We take full accountability that my life is a sum total of my choices, especially as an adult. Okay. And I'm talking to my late 30s, 40s, and above. No excuses. Listen, it is not our fault what happens to us when we were younger, and it's our responsibility to change our trajectory now. We have the ability to right now. Okay. And number three, they trust the process. They understand that leadership is a journey, not a destination. And again, we're talking about that trusting again. And it's very hard to trust the process, especially when you have trauma from childhood that we haven't dealt with. And so we'll talk about different things to get there too. But this week, identify one area where you've been waiting instead of leading. Where is one place where you should be stepping up in your life? Listen, start with you first. If you still feel unsafe, start with where's one place where you can step up in your life that you've been waiting, whether it's your career, family, or personal goals. Take one action step, no matter how small, just to move forward. Listen, there was sometimes the smallest thing that I could do was I would, listen to something different in the morning. I would try a different exercise routine, or I would try to move myself and just drive home a different route, doing something new, allowing my brain to open up and shift. Okay, so that's how we shift our mindset. You have to allow space in there. Okay. And so, step three is surround yourself with godly wisdom and accountability. Let me tell you something. No great leader does it alone. Jesus had 12 disciples. You understand me? 12. So, even CEOs, they have a board of advisors, mentors, and trusted voices. Who are your trusted voices? Who are your mentors? Who are your advisors? And I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to have to ask God, is this the person for me? Because not everybody is for you. I went to the movies yesterday and I saw Wicked. And it was so interesting that the Wicked Witch of the West, I think it was. She when she first got to the school, the professor only loved her because of her gifts and saw how she was so unloved by her family and felt so insecure about herself that she was looking for love in all the wrong spaces. So she wasn't aware that this woman only wanted to use her to her good, her gift for harm of others and not to uplift and love people. It was to use her gifts. And so, what I'm telling you is, as a leader, you have to be careful of who is around you because not everybody wants to see you win and not everybody wants to see you do better than them. So, sometimes they'll try to stifle you. So, you have to have discernment, but it starts by trusting yourself. I don't care what nobody told you about yourself. Trust that still voice that's within, trust your gut that tells you something is just not right because you're right. You have to trust you. When you find that one mentor, that coach or accountability partner, and I'm going to tell you that if you're really struggling with trust, I'm going to tell you to start with therapy. It's a great thing. I myself go to therapy. I mean, it's like different layers of different things for me. Right now, it's grief therapy. Why? Because it's important to peel back those onion layers. Because as you are a leader, you have to lead yourself. And the ways to lead yourself is to understand yourself. If you don't understand yourself, if you're not self aware of you, you're never going to be self aware of anything that's happening around you. Okay? You have to trust you. It's going to change your life. These are the people who are going to help you walk along your leadership journey. Pray about this person and intentionally seek their guidance. But here's the thing I want you to do. I want you to close your eyes and visualize the type of people you want to be around you. What are the conversations that they're having? What are they doing? How are they leading? How are they talking? Where are they going? Who are they doing it with? I want you to start to see it in your mind, and I'm telling you, things are going to start to happen. I was just talking to a friend about wanting to start to speak internationally, wanting to go overseas. And I just was having a conversation with them. Do you know, my sister texted me yesterday because my sister lives in Germany and was like, hey, I have a coach friend over here and she does these retreats. I think you and her would be great to link up together and do some stuff overseas. That's how God moves. When you move with intention, he will move right along with you. He will partner in this thing with you. I don't believe that I'm smart enough to come up with all that stuff on my own. I know where it's coming from. Okay? So listen, I know it's tough sometimes when you're thinking one way, but this is how I'm going to just tell you how a CEO who's led by God thinks and acts. And these are things that I had to learn, and I'm still working through some of them. Some of them I got. Faith first mentality. They believe that God is the ultimate CEO, guiding every single step. And that's why I talk about when your faith is tested. You have to have faith because the journey is not going to look how you thought it was going to look, especially because again if you're in the vision, you're seeing the end, not the beginning. So the thing is, you got to go along a journey to get to the end. Okay, so you have to have a faith first mentality. Second, long-term vision. Okay, we make decisions with eternity in mind, not just immediate gratification, because we live in a world we want everything quick and so fast and want all the likes and all the shares. I have been there too. And I had to say to myself, but and what is this really for? Is it for the likes and clicks? And I get it. You never have validation. And I get it. Nobody really was there for you. And I get it. Nobody really loved you the way that you feel like you deserve to be loved. And no man ever stepped up for you or no woman ever stepped up for you. I understand that. And so all of that comes when you're trying to build this business. All this comes when you are thrust into parenthood and you don't even know the first thing about being a parent. All of this comes when you're in a job that you don't really like and you know that you deserve and want more. All of that comes. But this is why you got to have long term vision. and to know that the end, you will get there, but you got to have a faith first mentality. And third, you have to have service over self. I'm gonna tell you, leadership is rooted in serving others. You have to be willing to serve others, not just achieving personal success. Now, personal success make what's going to come to it. When you learn when you learn to serve others, it's going to come. If you again, you have to break that cycle though of people pleasing and doing it just to make everybody else happy, because you're going to have to charge. You're going to have to charge. Okay, you're going to have to charge for those expertise. I get it. I was raised in church too, and there's some things that I do on the nonprofit side. You better hear me when I say this, and you have to charge. It's okay to have a nonprofit side of business. I hear you. And it's okay to build legacy for your family as well. But you have to service others first. Okay? And how they act. Prayer's a strategy, y'all. They seek God's, you got to seek God's wisdom before making big decisions. And listen, so the way that I do this, again, it's in the morning where I'm laying in the bed, y'all. I'm going to tell you right now, it's not that complex with me. And I know there are some people out here who do it better, do it longer. Some people get in the closet. Now, there's sometimes when I'm on my knees, I'm just talking about my thing in the morning, where even this morning, I said, God, give me the words for this video. Give me what it is to say. I need to hear your voice. And as I'm talking to you right now, I'm getting it. Okay, so prayer is a strategy. Seek his wisdom. Is this where I'm supposed to move? Is this where I'm supposed to go? Is this the person that I'm supposed to be with? And allow him to guide you. Okay, but trust what's coming in the inside of you. Trust the downloads. Trust what you hear. Trust what you feel. You got to trust yourself. You got to trust yourself. Okay, action over perfection. I'm gonna tell you right now, the one thing that trips us up, especially those of you who are elder millennial, Gen X, and boomers, is we spend more time thinking than doing. These Gen Zs, they got this down. I love watching that young man Kai Cenat. He got like they get into action. It doesn't have to be perfect. Everything, the plan is gonna come. Okay. Listen, you have to take faith-filled steps forward. Even when you don't understand it, even don't worry about failing. You're not going to fail. You're going to learn. You're going to learn. I learned so many things about myself and about business, so many things. Just keep going in, getting into action. You have to move. Stop thinking and doing. Stop just thinking. And I'm not saying we're not supposed to think. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying though, you should be moving. Okay? Just like I get up here and come and do these videos every Sunday. When I first started this thing, and I think I started like 2017, I spent so much time thinking, oh, I didn't think I looked good on camera. Oh, I don't like my nose. Oh, all that was just me not loving myself. And look at me today. I'm here, no problem. I show up. I'm coming, all of me. Get into action. And I'm going to tell you something else about a leader. Okay, this is my biggest thing. My biggest thing about a leader: integrity at all times. They lead with honesty, honesty, honesty. Stop lying to yourself. You spend so much time lying to yourself. I'm not worthy. I can't do it. I'm not enough. I'm going to need you to drop it in the comments and say, I am worthy. I can do this. I can do all things through Christ, God, Buddha, Allah, whoever that strengthens you. I want you to call it out. Say it. And get in alignment with God's word, because a lot of times our faith we don't believe is because we are not in the word. Okay? Get into the word, whatever your word is. Mine is Jesus for me. Okay? And that's what it's going to be. And I'm going to say it loud. And you, whomever for you, that's fine. But I want you to drop that in the comments, because you need to start saying it. You need to say it with conviction everywhere you go. Everywhere you go, I am worthy. If I'm in this room, it's because I'm supposed to be in this room. I deserve to be in this room. I've worked hard for this. You don't know the battles. I'm not supposed to be here, and yet I'm here. That means that there is a reason, there's a purpose, and I need for you to just to start to say it. There's a reason and a purpose, but you got to ask yourself, am I leading my life like God is the CEO? If not, what can I change today to align with his vision for my leadership? Okay. I need you to ask yourself that question today. Questions are the answer. Spend more time getting the curiosity with yourself and other people. It's going to change your life, okay? Getting curiosity with yourself and other people. Stop just assuming and jumping to judgment, all right? And here's what I want you to remember: you don't have to feel, remember, feeling, emotion is just an emotion, qualified to lead. The feelings aren't facts, baby. God doesn't call the perfect, He calls the willing. Are you willing to say yes? Are you going to step up and step into your calling? Step into the role as a leader with faith, courage, and humility. Ooh, and with a sense of pride. He called you. He didn't call them, He called you. I feel so much pride in that. I feel so much pride when I really sit down and realize, like, God allowed me to come here today to talk to you, His children. Oh my God. Like, what? And this is whether you're leaving your home, you ain't got to do videos like me. Your community, your career, or your personal dream. God has already given you everything you need to succeed. And I never really realized that. I was listening to all these people. And sometimes I would listen to them so much, my brain would feel like it's about to explode. I don't know what to do with so many voices. What happens when you just stop to hear His voice? All you have to do is trust Him and take the first step. And before I close this out today, I want to give you the two books. Well, actually, for leadership, anything John C. Maxwell, anything John C. Maxwell. Okay, just look up John C. Maxwell. All of his leadership books are wonderful. Also, this one, The Leadership Secrets of Jesus by Mike Murdock. This is a great book. Again, for those of you who don't believe in Jesus, you have to find those books for you. I'm telling you, ChatGPT is your friend. You can look it up there or just do a Google search, okay? But for those of you who believe in Jesus Christ, this one is also a good one. I'm not finished this yet, but so far so good. It's called Jesus CEO by Lori Beth Jones. So I just wanted to give you those. Those are two great books. Also, anything, I don't care what your spiritual calling is, anything John C. Maxwell and leadership is going to change your life, okay? And so you have to be willing to say yes. And if you're willing to say yes to your calling, just drop it in the comments and say, yes, I'm stepping into my calling. Yes, I'm stepping into my calling. And then affirm yourself, okay? I am a godly leader. I am equipped. I am equipped, called, and ready to step into my purpose. I am a godly leader. I am equipped, called, and ready to step in my purpose. Okay? I need you to do that. And if this video and this message resonated with you today, please like, share, and comment. I am looking to grow my channel. I'm going to come and tell you that. And every single Sunday, because I realize that I have to ask for help as well. So and don't forget, let me know what's one area you feel called to lead, even if you don't feel ready. I want to know. Let's start a conversation about that, right? Let's start about stepping in, because I want to listen. I'm stepping into my next level of leadership. There's levels to this, okay, baby? And I'm stepping into my next level, so I also want to do it with you, okay? And so please make sure you subscribe as well. And just encourage somebody, because I know that each week, if you're watching this, either you are a leader or you know someone who it's time for them to step into their calling. So please share this. And I hope you have the most amazing, amazing Sunday. And I'll talk to you next week. Bye now.